A good evening to you all, and thank you for joining us here on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a productive Tuesday. Now here's a sneak peek of our edition. Political analysts argue that the sanctions imposed by the United States will not resolve the ongoing security challenges in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo and the wider region. The Parliamentary Committee on Land, Agriculture, Livestock and Environment in the Chamber of Deputies has requested the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources to present, within a period not exceeding 3 months, measures to monitor post-harvest losses, including rice losses exceeding 12% and maize losses exceeding 13%. We are once again grateful you are joining us here tonight, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Martina Avera. Now, political analysts argue that the sanctions imposed by the United States will not resolve the ongoing security challenges in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo and the wider region. On March 2nd, the U.S. sanctioned the Rwanda Defense Force, accusing them of supporting the AFC M23 group and violating the Washington Peace Agreement. Critics of the decision say the sanctions unfairly target Rwanda while overlooking broader regional dynamics, including the presence of armed groups operating in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. On December 4th, 2025, a historic agreement was signed in Washington, D.C. between Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the United States. One of the key provisions of the agreement is the complete dismantling of the FDLR terrorist group, composed in part of individuals responsible for the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, who later fled to the forests of the DRC. Up to now, this group is alleged to receive support from the DR Congo government and to collaborate militarily with Congolese armed forces. Political analyst Aloise Mutabingwa notes that the decision of the United States of America is irrationally made.
It is not justified at all, but it is actually uncalled for, especially attempting a whole state, actually the greatest state in the world called America, making an attempt to impose sanctions on some individuals who are, yes, they are in command of the forces, the Rwandan forces, but they are not Rwanda. So I'm saying it's strange because these are individuals that are performing their duties, and there is a country they are serving. It is not a set of sanctions on a country, which would also be very, very unfortunate, especially given the diplomatic ties that the US and Rwanda have enjoyed for a very long period of time. The issues around Congo and the relationship between Kinshasa and Kigali have been tabled in Washington. The peace broker is not supposed to be the same peace broker who is imposing sanctions selectively and without any plausible justification. The only justification they provided is also important for me to talk to you about. They are saying the forces, the Rwandan forces, fired at SADC forces and some other forces that were in the alliance with the FARDC, and it's also very important to emphasize that these were forces working hand in glove with FDLR at the time in Goma, especially during the Goma capture. I don't understand whether they have removed the sanctions on FDLR, because I remember that the US had declared FDLR as a terrorist organization. The same US is supposed to come out clear whether it has legitimized the FDLR by recognizing it as part of the alliance with the Kinshasa, because the SADC and all other forces in Congo, they're working with the FDLR. So sanctioning those resisting the heinous acts of FDLR working as part of the alliance is a selective measure. It is unjustified, and in fact, it is a recipe for further crimes.
For over 30 years, Rwanda has raised concerns internationally about the FDLR and its collaboration with Congolese armed forces in destabilizing Rwanda's security and sovereignty issues that, according to some, the international community has continued to ignore. Political analyst Dr. Eric Ndushabandi believes that the U.S. decision to sanction the Rwanda Defense Forces will not resolve the ongoing security challenges in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, and that does not align with what is recorded in Washington Accord.
So the meaning of this should be understood from the basics. The basics here is a Washington peace accord negotiation between Rwanda and Congo, and having USA as a country, a mediator. If you look at the peace accord, you have steps, yeah? And they agreed on the implementation plan and the mechanism of monitoring this. But when you see the sanctions coming just like this, without presenting to people, to the audience, to the opinion, the evaluation of what you agreed upon, and at what level one of them missed the target or the objective, we don't know. But for this case, we know that the first step was the responsibility of DRC government to look for FDLR, to present them to the government of Rwanda, and then Rwanda will lift up the defensive measures. The question here is, when you sanction military officers of a country like this, a sovereign country like this, the question is, have we evaluated what is written in the Washington peace process? So this is a pure violation of sovereignty of countries.
Moving ahead, the Parliamentary Committee on Land, Agriculture, Livestock and Environment in the Chamber of Deputies has requested the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources to present within a period not exceeding 3 months measures to monitor post-harvest losses, including rice losses exceeding 12% and maize losses exceeding 13%. The performance audit report conducted by the Office of the Auditor General of State Finances on the management of rice and maize harvests and their linkage to the market, as well as the audit carried out on forest management in Rwanda in April 2025, has indicated that rice and maize post-harvest losses remain above 10%. The reports have also highlighted persistent and serious challenges in forest management, including the continued reduction of forest cover due to human activities and other factors analyzed by the Parliamentary Committee on Land, Agriculture, Livestock and Environment in the Chamber of Deputies. Members of the Parliament have particularly focused on the challenges related to maize and rice production, seeking clarification from the relevant institutions that had been summoned by the committee to provide explanations. Among the major issues identified in the reports regarding forest management are the reduction of forest area due to various human activities, an increase in illegal logging, the fact that 80% of state-owned forests consist of over-mature trees, trees affected by diseases including termites and other infections, among others. Regarding maize and rice production, it has been recommended that a system be established to regularly collect data on post-harvest losses each season and annually. Rwanda has set a target of reducing post-harvest losses to 5% by 2029, as provided for in the second phase of the National Strategy for Transformation. Residents of the Karangazi sector who live near the Akagera National Park have commended the establishment of a compensation fund that reimburses damage caused by wildlife, but they say they do not receive fair compensation for what is destroyed. These are among the concerns they raised to the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security during a visit to the area. The residents living near Akagera National Park in Rwimiyaga and Karangazi sectors engage largely in farming and livestock activities along the park's boundaries. They have frequently reported damage to their crops and livestock caused by wildfire from the park. During the visit by senators to Karangazi sector, they met with residents whose property had been damaged by wildlife from the park. Residents informed the delegation that while they appreciate the existence of the compensation fund, they remain concerned that it does not provide adequate compensation for the losses incurred. They have called for improvements to be made, and in its report on wildlife-related damage across the country, the Senate Committee has indicated that in the 2024-2025 fiscal year, it received approximately 15,000 complaints, representing an increase of 30%. The chairperson of the committee, Honorable Hadija Ndangiza Murangwa, has stated that visiting residents living near the park will enable the committee to advocate on their behalf so that stronger laws are enacted to better protect the interests of citizens. The visit forms part of a broader mission by senators from the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security, with another delegation having visited residents of Nyamagabe district who live near Nyungwe National Park. Rwandan peacekeepers serving under the United Nations mission in South Sudan, known as RwandaTV, were awarded United Nations medals in recognition of their contribution to peacekeeping efforts. The ceremony was held at the UN Tomping compound in Juba, South Sudan's capital, and was officiated by the Deputy Force Commander of UNMISS, Major General Robert Yao Afram. He highlighted the importance of the medal, describing it as a mark of professionalism, discipline, sacrifice, and strong commitment to peace. He noted that the award reflects the demanding conditions under which the peacekeepers operate, including long days, challenging missions, and the courage required to perform their duties. He also conveyed appreciation to the government of Rwanda and the Rwanda Defense Force for consistently deploying well-trained and professional troops to the mission. The contingent commander, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Dushabandi, praised the battalion for their dedication, resilience, bravery, and selfless service during their 10-month deployment. He encouraged them to sustain their efforts for the remainder of their mission, describing the medal ceremony as an important milestone in their service to humanity. The event included a colorful military parade, and the RwandaTV cultural troupe performed, demonstrating their discipline while highlighting Rwanda's rich cultural heritage. In New Delhi, Rwanda's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Olivier Nduhungirehe, and the Honorable Kirti Vardhan Singh, India's Minister of State for External Affairs, co-chaired the second India-Rwanda Joint Commission meeting. The meeting reviewed the state of cooperation between both countries in areas of defense, agriculture, trade and investment, health, education, science and technology, digital platforms, culture, and people-to-people cooperation. The two ministers also signed a memorandum of understanding on cultural exchange program between the two countries for the next years. Representatives from 18 African countries, including Rwanda, are discussing the harmonization of 26 quality standards for clothing and footwear manufactured on the continent. The aim is to promote trade in garments and footwear made in Africa and to advance the African Continental Free Trade Area by strengthening the common market. We have more on this report.
The meeting of the African Organization for Standardization has brought together experts from 18 countries to finalize the harmonization of African quality standards for textiles, leather, and related products. Over 4 days, the team of experts will discuss 26 quality standards related to various types of garments manufactured in factories and used in everyday life, such as schools, hotels, homes, and other settings. Rwanda, Ghana, and Eswatini have welcomed the harmonization of quality standards for clothing and footwear.
I know a few small-scale industries in Ghana who are trying to penetrate the African market with their products. So yes, the challenges might be there, but then the ASO, has also put together this committee to come up with a harmonized standards where these small-scale industries can be certified to, and then they can be given the chance to market their products across Africa.
Currently, what is happening in Eswatini is we have a textile industry, but most of our products are going out, so we are exporting to the EU. But one of the challenges that are there in the textile industry is the lack of labs to test, because for us as a standards body to certify the products, we may need to test it. But we are very grateful for the opportunity that we are getting from ARSO, because there is also a program to develop some of the SMEs in the textile and leather. So some of the SMEs are participating there, and we are looking forward to getting their quality mark.
At the continental level, 2,440 African standards have already been developed, representing over 50% of all the standards needed across Africa. The Secretary General of the African Organization for Standardization, Dr. Hermogene Sengimana, points out that Rwanda is among the leading countries advocating for the harmonization of numerous quality standards, including those related to clothing, footwear, and associated products.
Overall coverage of our standard harmonization has reached now 2,440 standards, covering roughly 25% of tariff lines. At the continental level, when you look at the schedules of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. The other milestone is that we are providing support for companies to actually acquire the ARSO quality mark that will be showing that you comply with the African standards. That is very important, because if you comply with the African standard, you are able to trade within 55 countries of the whole continent. It's an opportunity. You have a scientific support to showcase that you comply with the standard, meaning you open up your market. Yeah, it's not, if you are in East Africa, as I said, you are not looking at the Eastern Africa countries, but now with that certificate, you are looking at 55 countries. We increase the intra-Africa trade.
Rwanda decided to promote the development of industries producing clothing, footwear, and related products. Currently, only 5% of clothing and footwear manufactured in Rwanda is purchased on the domestic market. There is a target that by 2029, the Rwandan market will be supplied 100% by locally produced garments and footwear. Rwanda is among the 6 African countries that were at the forefront in establishing African standards for factory-made garments and related products.
The textile industry is among the priority value chain that Rwanda has decided to promote for the economic transformation journey that we undertaken as a country. And as standard bodies, we have the obligation to create value in terms of harmonizing standards, and this is what we are doing here with our peers, 15 African countries. And from these deliberations, the consensus from this group will be able to have harmonized standards at the continental level. And this is an opportunity for our textile industry, and because it is unlocking the market opportunities that are available under FCFTA framework. And in my personal point of view, this is what turns the FCFTA into a reality. because now we'll be reaching the point where African countries can trade among others, among them. And for our industry, we have provided the enough infrastructure, the enough support to have a strong and competent textile industry. And from this harmonization of standards, we'll be able to create opportunities for them to trade with other peers African countries.
72 products from 42 Rwandan industries have so far received African quality certification, while 278 standards have been harmonized by Rwanda. As a result, this Friday Rwanda will sign agreements with the Republic of Congo and Zimbabwe to facilitate trade in food products between the two countries without requiring lengthy quality inspection procedures. Additionally, 40 Rwandan companies, mainly in the food sector, will receive African-level quality certification.
Experts on Rwanda's foreign relations say that the expansion of Rwanda's international relations has led to an increase in foreign investment in the country and has also enabled Rwandans to expand their activities abroad. Enora Gladys has the details.
The expansion of Rwanda's relations with other countries is one of the factors increasing trade between nations. It is especially strengthened by private sector operators and investors in Rwanda, who say that the growth of international relations has given them opportunities to expand their businesses in different sectors. The benefits of foreign relations are also emphasized by various ambassadors representing their countries in Rwanda. Among them are Ambassador Khalid Musadafala of Sudan to Rwanda and Brazil's ambassador to Rwanda, Her Excellency Irene Vidagala.
I could envision this relation within next 5 to 10 years based on 3 pillars. Number one, we would like to attract more capital from Sudan to invest in Rwanda. Rwanda right now is adopting a transformative economy that Rwanda would like to be like a hub in different fields, services, financial services, education, and hosting international conference that based on its very rich experience in peacemaking and African model for reconciliation. Definitely this will be one of the main pillar. Second, right now we have more than 6,000 Sudanese people living in Rwanda peacefully, enjoying life here, contributing positively as well. But in terms of education and cultural exchange, more than 3,500 students. The cultural exchange and scientific cooperation and academic cooperation definitely is one of the fields that we cooperate together. Third, Sudan has a real expertise in agriculture that is willing to contribute also to upgrade and develop the agricultural sector.
If we can give the opportunity for students from here to go to our universities, undergraduation, post-graduation, we are creating strong links for the future. Of course, when you have the first students going there, there will be an interest for Brazilians maybe to come here and to study here, to see what you are doing. But I think my main point is, we are countries that are in the global south. And what Brazil has in terms of special features of its development, I believe it's different, for instance, from what a Rwandese student that's going to Europe or to the United States. Because we have to teach our students at university what are the challenges of a people that's fighting poverty, that is fighting for democracy, that's fighting for reducing the level of reducing the differences in the community. We have people who are very rich, the people who are very poor, and we have to decrease. So social policies in Brazil that we have been developing, I think that for Rwandan students that go to Brazil, either in the area of social policies, economy, but of course in the area of engineering and so, but the idea of the social policies, I think it's interesting.
Ambassador Joseph Mutaboba, who served as Rwanda's ambassador to the United States after the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, notes it was a very difficult period and expresses appreciation that Rwanda gained many partners.
Very tough because going to a foreign country for the first time as the ambassador or as a chargé d'affaires as I was not an easy thing because you have to start from the scratch. You are received by diplomats who don't believe in you, those who have to go and leave, or who have to accept to stay and work with you. So you don't speak the same language in terms of orientation, and that was tough. Secondly, we all were sent without any budget. What I enjoy most is the input from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I'll tell you that one, and the government of Rwanda, where you move from the traditional classic bilateral relations of, with the countries, and you multiply the number of those countries to just for the sake of being known as we have as a country which relates with many countries. That's not enough, and that was not the strategic way we did. It was rather saying, look, the few countries we have, we can slowly go adding more, but based on what we need, based on what we want to give to the country and to the people of Rwanda.
The recent National Dialogue Council, held in February, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Olivier Nduhungirehe, stated that Rwanda is in a strong position in its foreign relations. Regarding foreign relations, Rwanda has greatly expanded its diplomatic presence, especially since the first National Dialogue Council, held in 2003. At that time, Rwanda had only 20 embassies, but now they have increased to 50, spread across all continents of the world. Foreign embassies in Rwanda have also increased. In 2003, there were only 16 foreign embassies in the country, but now they have reached 47. Rwanda currently has about 50 embassies across all continents of the world. Meanwhile, foreign embassies in Rwanda have reached 47, along with 22 international organizations. Enra Gladys, RwandaTV News.
And on that note, we've come to the end of tonight's English News Bulletin. On behalf of the news production team and the technical team, we would like to thank you for sticking with us here on RTV. My name is Martina Avera, and until next time, stay safe and have a good night.